Good morning, everyone. It's Stretford. How you doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone is doing great and fine and splendid on this ridiculously hectic few days that has been Manchester United news and media reports and slander and manager out and whatnot. Everything is, is Manchester United at the end of the day. We can't catch a break. We can't get any pace, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? Look, there's lots of noise around Man United, and that is the biggest issue around Man United. I mean, a manager can't breathe without there being speculation and media onslaughts in regards to him. A manager yesterday said that, Manchester United aim is to win the Premier League. And you know what? Look, guys, I know we're not ready for the Premier League now. I'm not under any delusions that Man United are good enough to win the Premier League right now. I know that. But the problem is, right, Man United should have aspirations to win the Premier League. Now, look, the biggest problem that I'm having in regards to what I'm seeing on different fan channels and stuff like that is that it's the biggest contradiction. Because last year we were told, that Eric Ten Hag, he's got no style of play. He needs to show something. He needs to do this, right? And then when it's Ruben Amorim's turn, oh, you know what? He's trying to play. Don't work. It don't work. It's not working. He needs to go back to what Eric Ten Hag did. Blah blah blah, and things like that. And then I look at things, and then they say, you know what? When Eric Ten Hag said, "Oh, I can't play my formation, my Ajax way, because I don't have the players to do it." And then he got onslaught. There was an onslaught. There was criticism that, yes, why we brought you into the football club to do that, blah, blah, blah. But then, you know what, when we say, look, Ruben Amorim needs these players to do this formation, and he's trying to do it, and it's not working, people are like, oh, you can't blame not having your own players, just go back to a simple form of play, simple style of play. It's just so many, contradictions going around. I just don't really understand how, we can have one opinion there, one opinion there. And this is exactly the problem at Man United. Even in the ownership, even when we've been employing managers and, the indecisiveness, we don't really know what we want. Even when Alex Ferguson left, we employ a certain type of manager. Then after that, we employ a different type of manager. Then after that, we employ a different type of manager. And, we never really settled on what we want. What is our philosophy? What do we actually want at this football club? Now, what Ruben Amorim said yesterday, I don't think there's any problem in saying that we need to win the title. The aim is to win the title. Every season, Manchester United should aim to win the title. Regardless, we are the Bayern Munich and Real Madrid of England. Right? We are the biggest club in England. We should always have aspirations to win the title. And I think that is what Ruben Amorim is trying to say. So now people are jumping on him saying that, we shouldn't be saying them things. We're not ready to win the title. We know we're not ready to win the title. We know we're not good enough. But at the same time, we have aspirations. We should have aspirations. And if we look, I've had other managers, not mention this, not talk about the title and that. And people are like, oh, you know what? He should be talking about the title. We're Manchester United. And this is the problem in the fan base, in some fan channels and stuff like that. They just want to create a drama out of nothing. They just want to create headlines out of nothing. Driving mad. Let's get to your comments, of course, guys. Big up, Leeson. Hi, sir. How are you? No, I'm going to get into that very quickly, my friend. Tybor, good morning, brother. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're good. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Thank you, everyone who's joined me this morning. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. If you could do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Absolutely. Good morning, Jim. What's going on? Bring up. Come on, Sal. Bring the fire and the passion. Love it. Thank you so much, Jim. I hope you're doing well. Really good to see you, mate. Yeah, always fire for me. But you know what? I just don't like the contradictions going on. The contradictions in the fan base, on some fan channels and stuff like that. You know what? We got bankers sitting there talking about Man United, thinking they know everything about Man United. Do you know what I mean? I don't want bankers talking about Man United. I don't want Arsenal fans talking about Man United, acting like Man United fans. I don't want that. I want proper Manchester United analysis. I want balanced views, not contradictions. That's what I want. I'm tired of people making stories out of something. Ruben Amorim breathes. He can't do that. You know what I mean? Ruben Amorim talks about the title. You can't talk about the title. Since when? Now, this is the whole point of lowering your standards. When you stop talking about the title, that's when you start lowering your standards. That is when you start, like, you know, going in the realms of, you know, stupidity and lowering your standards and thinking that, oh, we can't talk about the title right now. We know we're not good enough for the title. We know we're not good enough, but the aspiration should be to win the title. If Liverpool could be top of the league this season, then Man United have an opportunity. Man United are nowhere near where we need to be. Man United are not on, you know, the level yet, right? But they should be, and they should aspire to be. They should aspire to be on that level. They shouldn't be talking down about the title. Man United should be talking up, because you aim for the stars, you fall on the moon. You aim for the moon, you fall on the clouds. You aim for the clouds, you fall in the mud. That is what it's about at the end of the day. Aim high, and you know what? Eventually, your ambition will get you to where we have to go. The Cheeto hate is getting. I said it, Kenny. Good morning, Kenny. I said it. At the end of the day, what did I say? What did I say many weeks ago? We're gonna play Kenny. Kenny won't. Sorry, we're not gonna play Kenny. Sorry, Kenny. I wish we could play you, brother. At the moment, we need a striker. Look, we're gonna play Cheeto, right? We're gonna play Cheeto. Like, everyone's telling me, let's play Cheeto. Drop Rasmus. Let's play Cheeto. He doesn't score. And then you go, you know what? Yeah, I don't know about him. You know, he's not ready. You know, and we're jumping on him already. There's already the seeds that are being planted. As I told you, the seeds are being planted in the Cheeto Obi hate brigade. Of course, this is happening. This happens at Manchester United. I told you guys, the patience is not there. We don't have patience. We just want to jump. You know, I see people on other fan channels. They start the channel. The first thing they do is that they plant something in the soil, and they'll say, oh, you know what? I'm not Ruben Amorim out, but we have to have a serious conversation about that. You know what I mean? We've got stupid idiots who just watch WWE. They're not really Man United fans. They go on their channel. They just do wrestling analysis. You know, that's all they should be good for, to be honest with you, because at the moment I'm looking at it. They're not really Man United fans. You know, not really. And I'll tell you that right now. And you know, they come out with this nonsense. You know what? I'm not really, you know, into it. You know, I don't want to be, but we have to have a conversation about it. It's madness, guys. It's madness. Maybe she's come on my channel and I start schooling them about the history of Manchester United, and maybe they could come on here and I can tell them about that, because it drives me mad. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we've had this manager. We've had him only for a few months. You know what I mean? We've only had him for a few months. And you know what? We're already throwing managers in the bin. We're already throwing 16, 17-year-olds in the bin. And you know what? I told these men about, we're going to drop Hoyland, we're going to play Cheeto, and watch what's going to happen. Give it 1 or 2 games, guys, more. Cheeto won't score. Let me tell you, luckily he can't play on Thursday, right, against Real Sociedad. He's not registered, right? So, look, you know what? Give it 2 or 3 more games and Cheeto won't score. That people are going to start saying, I'm not sure about him. I'm not sure about him. We have to have a conversation about him. We really do have to have a serious conversation about him, you know. This is what happens. And it's exactly the same with the manager. It's the same old nonsense. Replay it. I've only seen a few people online who have an IQ of football. I've only seen a few people online who actually have an IQ of football, who actually understand patience and understand the problems and the context behind what's going on at the moment. You know, in the bin, man. In the bin with your nonsense about, you know what, our style of play and this and that. You know, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, at the end of the day. Tyborg, at this moment, it's pointless to think about a title, but it doesn't mean we can't talk about rival fans using red sentences for banter, and I can't understand that. Our time will come. Tyborg, exactly, Tyborg. Manchester United are not ready now, and no one is in any delusion that we're good enough to win the title or good enough to compete in the Champions League. We're in no delusion. I know, I've been there for 40 years. I've seen the levels, right? I've seen levels of Manchester United. I know we're not ready right now, but the aspirations should be ready. So what these guys are saying on these fan channels and stuff like that is that we should never mention the title because we're never going to win the title. You know, if you have that mentality, you're not going to win the title. If you have a loser mentality, you're not going to win the title. At the end of the day, we have to talk about it. We're not good enough now, and no one is saying that we are. But we have to have aspirations. And Ruben Amorim has aspirations to win the Premier League title. What the hell is wrong with that? What's wrong with Ruben Amorim talking about the title? I don't know. It's just people want to make nonsense and headlines out of nothing. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. And they just might as well stick to their banking, man. Honest to God. Pearl, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. I keep saying like a broken record, and that, thank goodness you're here for us, talking proper sense like a proper fan, unlike so many other school fans. Thank you so much, Pearl. Much love to you, Pearl. Big up Singapore, massive. You know what I would say is that, you know, guys, look, you know, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing it on there. There's only a few. Look, guys, I would mention those names who do actually speak a lot of sense and in a balanced sort of way. I would mention those names, but the contradictions that I'm hearing, you know, as opposed from Eric Ten Hag to Ruben Amorim, is getting ridiculous now. It's getting stupid now, and we've been through this time and time again with the same old boring stuff. Do you know what I mean? Boring stuff about, you know what, he's got to change his tactics. Forgetting we played 4-3-3, we played 4-4-2, we played 4-5-1. You know, what do you want? You know, we played those formations and it failed. I would rather short-term pain and long-term gain. I would rather lose some games until the end of the season, no matter if we go this season without nothing and be ready next season, than to start next season with a new manager, a new formation, well, an easier formation there for them to play, and then we don't do anything anyway. We might play for the first few games, you know what I mean? And then suddenly we start down tooling, and that is the problem. You know, in regards to opinion and regards to what people are, they don't know what they want. They're indecisive. They're throwing this out of that to fit a narrative. They made their mind up and they fit a narrative, you know, that this is how we do it. And this is how I think, and nothing is going to sway me away from how I think. Do you know what I mean? You know, you've got people on other channels who speak like bloody lawyers, you know, on their channel, they speak like that. Do you know what I mean? And it drives me mad, to be honest with you. The same old nonsense, the same old crap that we hear from all of them. And I'm tired of it, to be honest with you. You know, I'm tired of this jumping on Ruben Amorim. Look at Ruben Amorim. You look at Ruben Amorim. Look at him. And the guy looks fed up. The guy looks fed up. The man talks about a title and then people are jumping down his throat. You know what I mean? If Ruben Amorim came out, right, and spoke like some of these fan channels, let me give you an opportunity. Let me give you an example. If Ruben Amorim came out right now and started saying, I don't see us winning the title for the next 10 years. Nah, I don't think we can win it in the next 5 years. No, we're not there. We're just not there at the moment. It's going to take a few years to win the title. People will jump on his back. People will say, oh, why are you at Manchester United for? We should be aspiring to win the title. We shouldn't be talking down like that. Our standards as low as in the mud, blah, blah, blah. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? This is exactly what I'm talking about. The contradictions, you're damn if you do, you're damn if you don't. At the end of the day, Manchester United should be aiming at winning the title. I don't care about what you think Man United should be, and what Ruben Amorim said was correct. Just because we got knocked out of the FA Cup, people are saying, you shouldn't be talking about a title right now. You shouldn't be talking about a title right now. And you know what? I understand why people hate these people so much. I always used to say to myself, why do people hate that fan channel so much? Why do they hate that guy so much? And every single day they're giving me evidence to why that people hate them so much. You know, they talk about unity. They talk about unity, right? And then they only unite with people. They only unite with people that created the toxicity in the first place, that are undercover Arsenal fans. And that's what they do. That's all they do. And all they can do is talk trash about the manager. You know what I mean? And I'm tired of it, to be honest with you. And if anyone wants to contradict me on that and come on this channel and tell me about the birds and the bees, I am all for it. I am all for it. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. Jim. Sal, I'm hurt and angry. Sanchez want to defy the fan base. Let's not call out Amorim or blame him. Let's get right behind the manager. I'm referring to the other fan. Absolutely. But look, Jim, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. You know, I'm really fed up with the attack on the manager, because we've been here before. We've been here before. We've got social media people. We got people on Twitter who are not Man United fans, who have a hidden channel, you know who they are. You know who they are. And they just talk. They got big platforms, but a hidden face, like a face of Martial or something. And then they talk about Man United and because it gets likes and it gets retweets and stuff like that. That's what they do. These sort of things, I would love to delete them from the community, from Manchester United completely. I would love to get rid of them because I don't think the essence of what Manchester United is, they don't understand what it is. You know, you can get them in a room together, and I would love to get all these guys in a room, right? I would love to. And talk, like, I mean, not like Faz and Saeed, you know, I mean, they're always in a room together for some weird reason. But anyway, look, you know, I would love to get them all in the room together and ask them questions about Man United and give them a history lesson about Man United, but they wouldn't do it. Big up. I kept on hearing fans telling us about Amorim not having style, telling us about Amorim not having a. I mean, last season, what was it? Eric Ten Hag, where's his style of play? Look, you cannot have, you know, how can you be at the club for 2 years and not have a definitive style of play? How can you have that? You know, no. Ruben Amorim has a definitive style of play. Oh, he's got to go back to the basics. He's got to go back to the basics. He's got to stop, you know, stop. These tactics are not working. He's got to go back to the basics. Whatever Ruben Amorim does, I aspire to win the championship. I aspire to win the Premier League. Oh, you can't talk about the Premier League yet. We've just been knocked out the FA Cup. You can't talk about the Premier League. You can't do that. You know, we've just been knocked out. We're going to take 10 years to win the Premier League. Mad, isn't it? I don't understand, Kenny. At the end of the day, Kenny, look, we're not ready to win. I know we're not ready. We know we're not delusional. We know we're not good enough. We know we're crap at the moment. But that is not down to Ruben Amorim. This is not Ruben Amorim's team. When Ruben Amorim has his team, and hopefully he has a big chunk of his team next season, we will try and move up that league. And then people will start seeing a style of play. People will start seeing the certain good apples who will stay playing Ruben Amorim ball, right? And then we're going to say to ourselves, actually, Ruben Amorim can do it, you know. I was wrong about 10 years. The over-sensationalist media whores that they are. And at the end of the day, that is what they do. This is what they make sensationalist headlines to say, oh, you know what, we're not even ready to win the league in 10 years. We're not going to win the league in 10 years. This is what they do. You know what I mean? And I understand why certain people are talking about their negativity, you know, are talking about that. And they're all to blame, guys. Right? They're all to blame. Look, the only one I know who I can look at and say, you know what, he's balanced, he's right, he's probably KG. Look, I look at all of these guys, right, and they make jokes about KG, but he's the only one who has a bloody sensible opinion. You know what I mean? The other people, I'm like, you're talking crap, mate. Jim, people tend to have a short memory calling out a manager and talking like they know everything about the educated five managers since Alex Ferguson. It's the fault of the guys and the players. Absolutely, bruv. Absolutely. And Ineos too now. Absolutely. There you go. Absolutely, Jim. Big up, Sal. Speak the truth. I love it. Thank you so much, Jim. Absolutely. I have to, man. Fully support Amorim sticking to the plan. I would be the same if his success is good, not stay behind the decisions, but take full responsibility. I hope he never changes. Tyborg, what happened? You know what happened under Ten Hag? Eric Ten Hag changed his tactics. He changed his philosophy. What happened? It failed. He fell flat on his face, right? Winners do not compromise. Winners do not compromise. If you can't play that system, then out the door you go. Ruben Amorim needs the backing. Ruben Amorim needs his team. And that is where we need to go from there. It's not manager FC. It's accumulation of evidence over the last 12 years that sacking a manager doesn't work. You know, and that is with Manchester United. It doesn't work. Sacking a manager doesn't work. And that is where we have to stop the realms of insanity, which is doing the same thing over and over again, and start believing in this manager. You have to be an absolute dum-dum to not see that Ruben Amorim is a smart guy, that Ruben Amorim is a good manager. You know what I mean? And not to know that, you know what, it is the players there that are the problem. You know, and you got players there who only like to play a certain type of way. You know, it's, as I said, it's like leading and going into a sword fight with a breadstick. That's what it's like with Ruben Amorim because he hasn't got his team. He hasn't got his team. I said it. You can ask a League One side to play tiki-taka football and play prime Barcelona football, but they can't play it because they don't have the players to play it. It's exactly what we are now. You know, it beggars belief that people still falling for it. Same vibes. I was thinking, like, seriously, why is ex-players always starting these personal attacks? And truly, I like Amorim even more than ever because of the look. You know what, Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney is a generational, world-class, one of the greatest strikers of all time. We know that. We know that. But tell him, right? Tell him, at Everton, Wayne, at Everton, would you win the Premier League title at Everton, Wayne? Would you have won the Premier League title at Everton? No. Why not, Wayne? Because you don't have the players around you, Wayne. You don't have the players around you to win the Premier League title. You don't have the manager to win the Premier League title, Wayne. So it's easy to talk about how I was so successful. I was so this, I was so that. He had a big part to play in, was it Louis van Gaal, you know, and these managers who fouled, they fouled under. So look, listen, you know, talk is cheap, you know, at the end of the day. And, you know, give the manager a chance. Give the manager a chance and let him do his thing. Support the manager. The board and Ineos need to support the manager. They haven't supported him so far. They've got rid of 3 players. They brought in Dorgu, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? Big up Kerwin, by the way. Exactly. Basically, at the end of the day, look, I analyze people and I look at people and I see the way they talk, right? You right, the way they talk, you know, you've got Harry Potter on the United View who talks on the United View. I don't know what this guy, you know what I mean? This guy looks like what is it? He sells Werther's Originals in some corner shop in 1955. You know what I mean? But you know what I would say is that, you know, they talk a lot of crap and a lot of negativity. You know what I mean? And they don't get put into the same category as the others, you know, because you know what? Look at him. He's got, oh, he's so nice. He talks very diplomatically like this. He speaks like a bloody Sunak, the Prime Minister of England, the former Prime Minister of England. Do you know what I mean? And they talk like this, and they talk in riddles, and they talk in this when what they're actually saying is actually bullcrap. You know what I mean? And you know what? I've heard all this all before. Do you know what I mean? So such a legend, mate. You school side, Branch Faz, all the rest. I know they operate, even Flex, another Flex is just another media guy. He's just another media guy. You know what? Yeah, he's one of them guys. You know what I mean? They're all the same, man, and I don't care if I upset people because at the end of the day, you know, there's no skin off my nose. To be honest with you, at the end of the day, you know what? Yeah, guy, look. At the end of the day, I respect people, what they want to do. But you know what? Their opinions are very implosive and negative in regards to things. They try to be balanced, but they use that, you know, that manipulative balance. I call it manipulative balance. Basically, what they do, they try to be balanced, but they'll dig at the same time. They'll dig at the same time. So they know what they're doing. And it's a very media-like corporate way to talk. And then they'll dig. They'll try to be like, I'm so balanced. I'm so this. I'm so, but they disagree with them once. Disagree with them once. You see what happens, right? At the end of the day. And this is what I'm talking about. You know, this is what I'm talking about. At the end of the day, now they're digging the seed for, you know, for another manager to come in and another manager to foul. Look, listen, why don't we just get Gareth Southgate and call it quits? Why don't we just do that? Why don't we just get Gareth Southgate and call it quits? Why don't we just go along that line then? Because that is what they want at the end of the day, isn't it? I guarantee that if we win the Europa League, we'll get Champions League and these so-called fans will jump on the bandwagon. Yeah, look, you know what? They'll be like, oh, yeah, we've been Amorim's army, this, that. People don't want to be patient for success. They don't want to be patient. They don't want patience. They just want the end product. They just want to be there at the time we lift the trophy. That's all they want to be. You know, they don't realize that this is taking time. They haven't learned from mistakes of the past that, you know what, sacking the manager is not going to do anything. You're going to have a backlog of players from the old managers. And you know what? They're going to struggle because they're going to have their own philosophy and they can't play that philosophy. Now, let me tell you something about other people who start talking about, you know what, but this, but that manager's done that, but that manager's done that. There's a huge difference between managing Everton and managing Manchester United. Everton, you can play your 4-4-2, get the odd win, and you're fine. No pressure at all on teams like Everton. There's no pressure at all on those type of teams. So the difference is between Man United and those type of teams is that the pressure is there to win every week. Now, how do you win every week? You can't win every week playing 4-4-2, playing a simplistic style of play. You can't do that. You can't win every week, hoofing it up to the main man, hoping it up to the best, hoping throw something against the wall and hoping it sticks. You can't do that. You have to build brick by brick by brick. And then eventually you'll be ready. But we don't want to wait for it. We don't want to wait. We're not even waiting for the first brick to be laid. We're not even waiting for the cement to be lowered. You know what? We're straight away turning on the manager. And you know what? It's ridiculous because I know what they're doing. I see what they're doing. Oh, we're not against the manager, but we have to have a serious conversation about it. We have to have a serious conversation. I have to have a serious conversation about you being a Manchester United fan. That's what I have to have a serious conversation with you about. I have to have a serious conversation about the history of Manchester United with you without the use of Google. That's what I want to have a serious conversation with you about at the end of the day. Triple M, big up Triple M. Amorim is the guy. Amorim in, absolutely, bruv, absolutely. Tyberg. Amorim needs at least 3 strong windows. Until then, the criticism is childish. Absolutely, Tyborg. It's childish and immature and spoiled brat mentality, Tyborg. Spoiled, impatient imbeciles, to be honest. And they haven't seen what sacking managers does. They haven't seen that. These players can't play the system. These players need to go. Simple as that. Ruben Amorim walked into an absolute mess. Absolute turmoil at Manchester United, and expected to. And people were like, when Ruben walked into the door, people were like, "Oh, you know what? We're going to give him time. We understand the process. We're going to have to be patient with him. He's got a different style of play." A few losses, straight away on him. Oh, we can't take. I know it's painful, but I know we have to be patient, but I know that we're going to suffer, but they can't do it. They fall at the first hurdle. They fall right at the first hurdle and they can't do it. They don't understand the value of patience. That's why many of them, if social media didn't exist, they'll be on the streets. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what they do because they don't have the art of patience. You know what I mean? They don't have the value of patience. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Big up, Grayo. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Big up, brother. You're once again the voice of reason. I back you 100%, and I also back Amorim 100%. Respect, Grayo. Thank you so much. Thank you, Grayo. Thank you, brother. Respect. Look, Grayo, bro. At the end of the day, what I would say is that, look, nothing is absolute. And you know what I would say is that if it gets to a year's time, 2 years' time, we can have this conversation about Ruben Amorim, right? He has to have a few windows, though, doesn't it? And he has to have a few of his players in there to fit his system, right? At the end of the day. And if we lose against Real Sociedad, you bet your bottom dollar, all of those fan channels and stuff out there are going to start saying, Ruben Amorim out, Ruben Amorim out. That's enough. I've had enough now. That's enough. We can't be backing this anymore. We have to admit it's not good enough. And that's what they're going to do. And what's going to happen? They're going to put pressure on the football club. The fans are going to put, some of the fans with no brain are going to put the pressure on the football club. And then they're going to, sack the manager. And who are we going to bring in? Oh, we might as well go back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's what I'm hearing at the moment. Let's go back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer vibes. Let's do that, shall we? At the end of the day, why don't we? You know what I mean? Why don't we just do that? So we can make the players happy again. We can play the counter-attacking football again that won't have long-term sustainability. We can do that. Do you know what I mean? We're thinking too short-term. That's what we're doing. We're thinking way, way too short-term and not thinking about the bigger picture here. Big up, bro, you legend. Absolutely. Jim. For us to be winning titles, cups, everything from the top needs to be 100%. Functionally, probably successful. Come at a club run professionally. Glazers, Ineos, out all the way. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stanley Matthews, what's going on, my friend? Garnacho is the best winger in the side. You have Dorgu on the left. Why can't we use Garnacho as a right winger and Xerxes as a Fernandes as inside forwards? It's an idea. Unfortunately, Dorgu's been out he's going to be out for the next 2 games, isn't he? So he won't be playing for a while. Unfortunately, we'll miss the Arsenal game, and that is a shame. Another bit of news is that Chido Obi Martin won't play on Thursday against Real Sociedad because we haven't registered him. How incompetent are Manchester United? Manchester United, who don't have any strikers, right, have not registered Chido Obi. Have not registered Chido Obi. Clever, right? But they've registered Aiden Heaven. Mad. Triple M. Some fans' opinions are very limited. They have an opinion. The thing is, right, they get happy when the manager gets him appointed. He's my man, my manager. This man, he's a genius. As soon as it goes a little bit pear-shaped, the opinion goes from there to there, and then they completely scupper all the things that we promised ourselves that we're going to do, which includes patience, which includes, suffering a bit to get long-term gain. You know what I mean? Not understand the context that we are not going to win with this bunch of players. We're not going to win. We can win. We can get up to 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Who cares? Who cares if we're 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th? Who cares? There's no difference between 8th, 9th, and 10th and 13th, 14th, and 15th. There's no difference. We need to think about the bigger picture. We need to think about the future of how we're going to increase, how we're going to improve. And by Ruben Amorim saying that we are aiming in the future to win a Premier League title, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think people who are jumping on Ruben Amorim for saying that are lowering their standards. They may say to you that, oh, I'm being realistic. I'm just being realistic. I'm not being delusional. That's what they will say. But they're not being realistic and delusional. They're feeding into a narrative. That's what they're doing of negativity, planting seeds. I would argue that, Ruben Amorim, should be, applauded. Say, yes, he's right. He knows, Ruben Amorim knows Manchester United. Ruben Amorim's played against Man United. Ruben Amorim was at an age where he remembers Manchester United, who we were. So at the end of the day, how can, he's talking about what he believes Manchester United should be. If a manager at Real Madrid walked into the press conference and said, you know what, we should be aspiring to win the league in 5-10 years. What is Real Madrid board going to do to that manager? What are they going to do? What is the media going to do? It'll be on the front page of Marca straight away. You'll be like, 10 years. You know what I mean? No. It'd be big 10 years. You know what I mean? And we're Manchester United. He has to aim at the title. And by aiming at the title, he's aiming high, right? He's going to fall on his own sword if it doesn't go his way. But at least he has the aspiring, and he's aspiring to win the Premier League title. And that's what I like about it. Man United Greek fan, there you go. Those three rants, Saifaz, the toxic flex is insidious. KG stands his ground indeed. KG's the only one who stands his ground. And don't forget Owen. Owen's a WWE fan. He probably has bloody Hulk Hogan wrestling pads and everything like that. At the end of the day, I'm a WWE fan, but that guy, he does watch alongs with WWE and all that. Personally, I think he's been thrown off the top rope too many times on his head because he comes out with the most nonsense, contradictionary things that you can possibly hear. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, And if they want to get me on the show, if they want to have a real debate from a real United fan, from a proper United fan, not a social media influencer, here I am. You want that? Here I am. I will talk to you in your face, sir. Yeah, I will talk to you in your face about the birds and the bees, because all they do, Flex and Owen, they gang up on KG. They can only do that. They can only fight. They can only fight single, 2 against 1, 3 against 1. You know what I mean? You got 3 against 1. That's all they can do. That's why they have to get the Muppeteers on there, who has the Glazers fish stuck up their backside so that they can talk like a puppet. That's exactly what it is at the end of the day. I would tear down all these mothers. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, definitely. Tyborg. So I can understand people being negative, but lots of bad things around United. But in my eyes, what is important is the manner that they do it. No need to overreact until the constructive. I'm all fine with it. Constructive criticism is fine, but turning against the manager now, not looking at the context, right? Planting seeds against the manager now. You know what I mean? When we've had a backlog of 12 years of doing the same thing and not succeeding, right? We're seeing the same old thing that we've seen under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that we've seen under Erik ten Hag, the same old nonsense, and Ralf Rangnick as well. We're seeing the same old nonsense, planting a seed. I think he just needs to change his tactics. Ruben Amorim is changing his tactics. He's changed his tactics many times. The fact that Ahmad can play right wing back is because he tried Ahmad at a right wing back. Ahmad was never a right wing back, but he plays right wing back. He had to. He's got no choice. You know what I mean? What people don't look at is the context. Manchester United had a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds on the bench against Tottenham. They don't talk about that. Do you know what I mean? These are big things. Why have Fulham got Willian and Raul Jimenez coming off the bench, but Manchester United have got 16, 17-year-olds coming off the bench? That is a constructive argument. You know what I mean? Not the same old dumb thing where they're talking about, we're not going to win the league. He's got to change his style of play. He's got to try and get, he's got to try and win games. For me, no. So that's why I stay away from so. There's lots of them, man. There's lots of them. I see them all day long. I see them all day long. And you know what? I supported some of them, man, in the past. And the biggest regret I have is supporting those, man. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because all they talk is they talk in riddles and they talk in sensationalist terms to try and flare up a community and try and create, you know, there was one saying, right? And I was going to name an album this. When I used to do music, I was going to name an album this, right? Do you know what it's called? Order Out of Chaos, right? So what they do, they'll create a chaos around, right? They'll create a chaos in their community, on their channel, right? An argument that everyone's arguing with each other. And then they'll act like the voice of reason. They'll act like the voice of reason. And they'll say, yeah, you know what, yeah. Some of them, you know, and they manipulate and they lie. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, as I said, it's not about numbers. It's about the facts. It's about who we are, who is a Man United fan and who isn't a Man United fan at the end of the day. Jim, but I know that I've seen that all sus of the mentalities are one word. They're weak. They are weak, mate. They are. Big up, Pearl. Big up, Jim. Of course. Big up, of course. Big up, everyone. Of course. I want to ask you guys the question. I've been a Manchester United fan since 1989, 90. Around that time, I was a child, right? I've seen every single major trophy under Sir Alex Ferguson, right? I should know standards. I know standards. I've seen it all. I was a teenager. I was in Barcelona in 1999. I know standards. You know, I've got articles written about me in Barcelona, right? I know about standards. So why is it me who's backing the manager and not planting seeds? Look, guys, don't get it twisted. I criticize when I criticize, but I don't go over the top, because at the end of the day, what people are doing is that they're trying to plant a seed. They act like they're not Ten Hag out. They act like they're not Ruben Amorim out. Excuse me. They act like they're not Ruben Amorim out. But deep down, they're Ruben Amorim out. Believe you, they're Ruben Amorim out, and they've lost trust in the manager. Now, how comes it's me, who's been a fan since 1989, 90, all those many years ago, you know what I mean? You know, can be patient. But when it comes to these guys with no hairline, you know, they're not patient. Is it the fact that they've only been a fan since we were successful? Is that why it is? Because they only know success. They never known our climb to success, how we became successful, how the patience made us successful. Jim, big up, Sal. Respect. Big up, brother. Hope you're doing well, bro. Hope you're doing well. I thought you said as much respect, bro. I cry and feel the pain for these years. One thing I know, I'm a Man United fan and we are taught in the culture, never give up. You never give up, mate. You never give up. And look, at the end of the day, look, I want to give this a chance. And I'm not saying that forever I'm going to support Ruben Amorim, and Ruben Amorim's poster is going to be on my wall. And, you know, I support Ruben Amorim all the way. You know, we got Arsenal fans, Lee Gunner with his, you know, sitting there like looking like a worm with his cigarette like this, shaking because he smoked so much. You know what I mean? He's like this, pretending he's rich on the beach in Mallorca. You know what I mean? And like this, Man United, we remember, they're doing that sort of crap at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Talking about Man United, you know, at the end of the day, you ain't won a trophy in 5 years. Concentrate on your own team. Do you know what I mean? That's what I would say to them. You know, and you know, we've got so many nutters everywhere. Everywhere I look is nuts. At the end of the day, do you know what I mean? Goodness me. And you know, when I see these fan channels and I see them talking about Ruben Amorim, I see that. You know, I'm not one of those guys who are going to back Ruben Amorim all the way to 5-10 years. I'm not saying that. You know what I mean? I will give Ruben Amorim 2-3 years, just like every other manager. If Ruben Amorim doesn't make it and we can't see success in the 3 years, then Ruben Amorim won't be here. But you've got to give Ruben Amorim time to implement his tactics. Ruben Amorim, the great thing about Ruben Amorim coming mid-season, he didn't want to come mid-season, by the way. He wanted to come at the start of next season, is that he gets to differentiate between the good apples and the bad apples. And by next season, he will know the good apples and he will know the bad apples. You know, and what people need to do is just they need to stay a little bit more patient, get behind the manager. Maybe if we get behind the manager and support the manager on all these media outlets, and believe it, these players see the news, they see the comments, they see all these fan channels, they do. You know what I mean? And you know what are you doing by calling, you know, targeting players, targeting certain players and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? And targeting a manager. What's it going to do? Is it going to bring us success? You know, or is it going to put pressure on the manager? Jim, as a true lives manufacturer, we never run away from the herd first. Absolutely, we're on the first hurdle. Exactly, Jim. We're on the first hurdle, and we're giving up on the first hurdle. We're looking at the first hurdle, and we're like, the first bit of pain. You try to jump the first hurdle, you hit your leg on the first hurdle, right? You're looking at the other hurdles, and you're going, I don't fancy this. I don't really fancy this. I don't really fancy jumping those hurdles because, you know what? Let me start again on another hurdle, on a smaller hurdle. You know what I mean? And then that is when our expectations get lower, when we start getting smaller hurdles. You know what I mean? Ruben Amorim's trying to keep the hurdle up. He's trying to keep our aim and aspiration is to win the Premier League title. That's what I wanted to hear. That is what I want to hear from my manager. Absolutely. Amorim's system requires that every player playing with a discipline and a wonder all over the place, like Bruno, especially in the Ipswich game. Sal, what's your views on this? Stanley, I agree with you. Now, look at this, right? I don't throw mud on players and this and that. Bruno's been one of our better players. But what you have to do, you have to look at those players. You have to look at those players. And that includes Bruno, because Bruno's been a captain for a few years now, right? You have to look at that. What's the problem with Bruno? Bruno goes missing. As you said, Stanley, discipline. Bruno goes missing around the pitch. He creates spaces. He may get you out of problems with a free kick or a piece of quality. But if you watch the game, if you analyze the game from a bird's eye view, he's losing his positions. He's creating spaces for the opposition team to exploit. That's what he's doing. But people don't want to look at that. They just want to look at the stats. Wasn't it Jose Mourinho who said people who understand, people who have to analyze with stats don't know nothing about football? Don't you think that's true? Because I believe that's true. I really do believe that's true. Because at the end of the day, when you look at the game as look at Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, David Beckham's stats might not be as good as Bruno's. But over the period of time, over the game, they impacted the game better. Whether it was that long pass, whether it was that ball there, whether it was that, they impacted the game, which led to us more times than not winning the game. It wasn't about he scored this many goals or he created that many chances. No one really cared as long as we're winning the game. You look at Andy Cole and Dwight York, right? You look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They never really reached 30 goals a season, did they? 15 to 20 goals a season. You can look at their goal tally and think, it's fairly average, isn't it? And that is what these low ball IQ media outlets do when they look at numbers. It's just like when they try to slander Eric Cantona. They look at Eric Cantona and they say, oh, 10 goals here, 15 goals there, 16 goals there. And, you know, not looking at the bigger picture, the influence that he had on the team, bringing the team forward, especially the class of 92. They don't look at that. They just look at stats. And they're analyzing with stats. And these dead ball knowledge people analyze with stats. And I don't analyze with stats. I'll analyze with eyes. I analyze with eyes and I analyze with results. The most important stat is that score at the top of the corner of the TV screen, right? It's a score. That is the most important stat for me. Now, if you're the captain of Manchester United and you've got a record, a serial killer's record of losing games, right? You got a Jeffrey Dahmer record of losing games, right? If you got that, right? You know what I mean? You have to take some accountability too. Just because you play one or two good games doesn't make you a world beater, right? And that's what I would say. Especially if you're not winning the game. I don't care if you scored a goal. I don't really care. Did we win the game? Triple M. Amorim needs signings for his team to succeed. Will win trophies, baby. I agree, Triple M. And I think that this is the reason why I'm so fed up with it. Because I know that there's a potentially world-class manager in Ruben Amorim. I can see it. Right? I can see a great manager if he's given the backing. If he's given the tools to succeed, I can see a great manager here. I really can. And the problem is that people are not waiting. They know he hasn't had a proper window. They know he's had one player in, 3 players out on an already weak side. They know he's got injuries as well for these weak players. You know, at the end of the day, you know, they know that, yet they still want to jump on the manager. They still want to give him this. You know what? I really hope he wins on Thursday. I really do. But I'm still not going to jump on the manager if we get knocked out against Real Sociedad. I'm still not going to jump on the manager. Absolutely not. The thing still stands. It still stands, guys. He needs his own players. He needs his team. He needs some transfer windows. He needs next season. And at the end of next season, if we're still crap, if we're still 10th to 15th, right, then you can start saying, well, you know what, maybe, yeah, maybe I was wrong and maybe he does need to go. Maybe his style of play isn't working and stuff like that. But even then, I would say that reluctantly. I didn't say bald fraud or peanut head whilst Eric Ten Hag was here because I knew the problems at Man United. I knew the problems run deep, right? And I knew by sacking a manager, we're not going to automatically be successful. You know, I knew that. You know, and some people are here celebrating when we sacked Ten Hag. You know what I mean? Celebrating. When I said, well, nothing's going to improve. Nothing's going to improve until those players are there. Nothing's going to improve. You're giving him the same tools as Eric Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag's a bad manager. No, he's not. Kenny, I actually noticed Owen being negative all these. I mean, look, Owen's a negative guy, Kenny. He's been negative against Eric Ten Hag. He was negative against lots of people. And his negativity is not called out. And I'm calling it out. I'm calling it out. You know what I mean? And he never wants to go be wrong. And when you disagree with his opinion, he goes all red. He goes all red. And then he starts, you know what, being defensive. Peep the game, guys. Peep the game. Don't look at him and think, oh, Owen's so nice and this and that. Don't look at Flex and think he's so nice and this and that. They're not, guys. I've met Flex. I met all of them. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Look, you know, at the end of the day, look, they're not. They're definitely not. And they're actors, right? And they're acting to be Man United fans, some of them. You know, and I don't care. What not? You know, at the end of the day, blackball me from certain channels, do that anyway. You know what I mean? I'm too knowledgeable for their channel anyway. You know what I mean? In regards to Man United. You know what I mean? I don't make TikTok videos and things like that. I'm a proper Man United fan. I'm a serious Man United fan. I care about what Man United do on the pitch. You know what I mean? I'm not a part-time American football lover like the Muppeteers. You know what I mean? I'm not a Glazer sympathizer. I'm not one of those guys. I fight. I fight my corner. I speak about the club. You know, I mention about people. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Jim, Sal, I thought Flex KG are besties. Look, Jim, they are probably. They are friends, probably. But I've noticed they trend in the disagreements and the ganging up on certain people. Look, I know that KG doesn't need my corner. I know that. But the thing is, what I would say is that there are certain people, they gang up on people on these streams. So what they'll do, right, and this is a tactic, and I want you guys to understand this. They'll get a few people that agree with their narrative. They'll get a few people on their panel who agree with the narrative. They'll get one who have an opposite to them. Just so it makes that guy look stupid. When they're arguing, they laugh. Let's laugh at him. Let's laugh at him. That's what they do. When I can look at them and say, okay, what's going on, guys? What happened about Eric Ten Hag, his style of play, right? I thought he didn't have a style of play. Now people are talking about Ruben Amorim going back to the old Eric Ten Hag style of play. You know what I mean? What about that? What about sacking Eric Ten Hag? Anything will be better than Eric Ten Hag. What about that? What about that? Why don't we talk about that? Do you know what I mean? They need to stick to wrestling. Big up Sal. Since January 7th, wins 7, draws 2, 4 losses, and narrative is Amorim system is the problem. Why don't the people accept that these players are not good at exactly LT? Exactly, brother. And a top comment from a top person is LT. Exactly what I'm talking about. How comes these players can turn it on the last 20 minutes against Everton, right? This is a prime example, right? With the same tactics. How comes they can turn it on? How does that make sense? Because that basically tells you that they can play those tactics. They just refuse to do it. They refuse to be disciplined in those tactics. So that is exactly what I'm saying. So we're going to carry on blaming the manager. And when these players are fed up, and when they throw another manager under the bus, right? When these players are fed up, what they're going to do, right? They're going to do the same old thing. You know what I mean? And they're going to play well for the new manager. The new manager is going to come in and people are going to say, I told you. Then they're going to down tool again. And then when they get fed up with that manager, they're going to bring in another manager at the end of the day. Delete looked like a proper captain. He is. He reminds me of Nemanja Vidic, the way he was playing the other day. Absolutely brilliant. The criticism of Delete is ridiculous. Of course, it's ridiculous. Morning, Devils. Morning, Mark. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Rance and Saeed are the worst. Rance always blames the manager while never talks about ownership. And he never talks about anyone. How many of them mentioned Sir Bobby Charlton? God rest his soul. How many of them mentioned about Dennis Law? God rest his soul. How many of them did that? None of them. Because they don't love Manchester United. They don't love the legacy of Manchester United. They don't give a damn about Manchester United. You know what I mean? All they care about is their platform. And being negative. Throwing another manager under the bus. You know what I mean? Because he ain't the same, you know what I mean? He doesn't fit the same culture as them. You know what I mean? It's just, it's jealousy. It's naive. It's ignorance. It's ridiculous. Kenny, I know that's us. Seen these imposters who are Amorim. They're mad, mate. They're mad. They've been knocked on the head by a horse, mate. Big up, Shah Alam. Big up yourself. I feel sorry for Amorim, but I back him all the way. Believe in him, his football. All he needs to do is build his own side. Absolutely, Mark. And we have to, as fans, be patient. Mark, we are always patient, isn't it? But we, as fans of this great football club, have to be patient. We have to be a little bit calm. You know what I mean? We have to be calm. You know, I wasn't 3 years old like Rance in 1999. I was a teenager. I was 17. Watching Manchester United at the Nou Camp in the final, the treble season. I know about standards. Do you know what I mean? I know about this. You know what I mean? So why is it only me? Why is it someone like me who's actually backing the manager? Even though the standards are not what I've been accustomed to, it is I'm backing the manager because I know success takes time. Thank you so much, Jim. Big up, Jim. Of course, the legend. Lee Gunner just smokes cigarettes and types nonsense on Twitter. Lee Gunner, he's a nervous wreck, mate. He's a nervous wreck. He's a worm. At the end of the day, he's a tax evader, whatever he is. He's a worm, mate, and he acts like he's tough. Mate, I can see his ribcage through his bloody Primark shirt, whatever he is. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that guy, he just talks a lot of nonsense, talks a lot of crap. You know what I mean? And that's it. I don't like any of them, to be honest with you. I think they're all like a bunch of, you know what, whining little pillows. To be honest with you, and I'm tired of it, you know. And I'm going to call out everything as it is. And this is Stretford Post, and I've always believed in real conversation from the time I had Jason McAteer on his channel, right, against the narrative, right, because people were telling him that he hopes his relatives die of such and such, and I went against the grain. Since those days, you know what I mean? Even though he was an ex-Liverpool player, I still got him on the show. I still spoke to him and let him have his piece, and that is what this is Stretford Post is about. I will always give a voice to people. But you know what? I will always call out people as well. You know what I mean? I will always call out people. Do you know what I mean? The man reminds me of Doc Cotton out of EastEnders. Those who know, he's got a cigarette all the time in his hand. And, you know, we're talking about this. He's fair enough. He's probably got knowledge about Arsenal. I've got knowledge about Arsenal. I know a lot about Arsenal, actually. I've been supporting Man United for a very long time. I know a lot about Arsenal. So at the end of the day, let him talk about Arsenal. Don't talk about Manchester United, because at the end of the day, you know, what they're doing is they're adding fuel to the fire. They don't care about Man United. So I don't want to hear their opinions about Man United. I really don't. Tyborg. I have 40 United-related tattoos. My son is called Alex after Fergie. I couldn't change my team even if I wanted to. Not that I wanted to. Tyborg, big respect to you, brother. Thought you would have had one Frankfurt tattoo, Tyborg. You don't have one Frankfurt tattoo? You don't have one? Yeah, no. You know what? Big up Tyborg. Absolutely. Big up Tyborg. Big up. Absolutely. I know Tyborg. You're a proper fan, mate. You know, the one thing I would do is I will call out things for the facts. I don't call out things for the nonsense, you know, and for likes and clicks. People look at this stream. Right? And they might look at me and say, oh, I'm not going to get him on the channel now. I'm not going to get him on my channel. I'm going to blackball. I'm going to cancel Sal. I'm going to cancel Sal. This is what it is at the end of the day. I don't care. I don't care. You know what I mean? Because I care about this football club. That's all I care about. I don't care if they like me or dislike me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Trying to squeeze knowledge of football out of these people is like squeezing water from a stone. I don't care. You know what I mean? I just want good football debate. Mark, I am close. I'm class of 92, lad. So I came through the good years and the good years too. Big up, Mark. Big up, Mark. Big up yourself. I am hopeful something this season, but my heart, I know that might end with nothing this season. But I trust Amorim to cook after a good summer. Ruby, absolutely, Mark. Look, I'm not expecting us to win the Europa League. I think the Europa League is very difficult to win. I think it's one of the most difficult trophies to win, right? So I think it's kind of like a Champions League. It's nearly as hard. These teams are difficult, right? And the thing is what I would say is that even if we don't win it, he will cook next season. But he needs to be given the opportunity to cook next season. Because I know, guys, Mark, that if we lose in the Europa League and we get knocked out in the Europa League, I know for a fact that these fans are going to jump on the manager. I know that Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are going to be backed into a corner and they'll probably react by sacking him. You know, and that is what I don't... Because what they're going to do, right? They're going to do this. They're going to do this. This is what will happen. Ruben Amorim will get knocked out of the Europa League. By the summer, they're going to say, oh, you know what? We made that mistake with Erik ten Hag. We're not going to back Ruben Amorim. When Ruben Amorim hasn't had any backing at all, right? They're going to say, we're not going to back Ruben Amorim. We're going to get a new manager in and back him. And there we go again. We start again, of course. LT. I also know that things are not looking good in terms of injuries, but I still have faith we can win the Europa League because the football there is slower and it suits our players. Absolutely. Guys, look, you know what? And this is one thing I would say on that other show. They said, we're not going to win the Europa League. How do you know we're not going to win the Europa League? How do you know we're not going to win the Europa League? Chelsea won the Champions League, coming 5th, 6th in the Premier League. You know what I mean? How do you know we're not going to win the Champions League? How do you know that? You don't know that. You can't say that. And then when someone argues that point, you start getting defensive. We have a chance of winning the Europa League, just like every other team, just like Lazio, just like Bilbao, just like Frankfurt. We have a chance to win the Europa League. We could win the Europa League. Are we going to win the Europa League? It's unlikely. But you can't say that we're not going to win the Europa League. You know what I mean? So big up LT. Morning Sal, the fan channels I wish you watch is U2US, and there is no agenda where I have the real conversation about the problems at the club. I would say this, Shah, that if you're going to, what I would say about 2US is that they got to stop supporting people that have created toxicity in the first place. That's what I would say. They have jumped on the criticism of Amorim in regards to winning the Premier League. They shouldn't do that. You know, they are jumping on that. At the end of the day, they need someone like me. I said it. They need someone like me. They need a proper head on there, a proper Man United fan, a proper one. I mean, on there, absolutely. And I don't care if it upsets people. Forget about the system and tactic and style, whatever. The first thing that Amorim expects from a player is to give 200% in attack and defend from the whistle to the whistle. Run, 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 and more run. Absolutely, Mark. And they are not doing that at the moment, are they? They're not doing that. Good morning, Rodney. What's going on? Good and Morton, my friend. Oh, good Morton. Good Morton. Basically, I said good Mort instead of good Lord. Good Mort instead of good Lord. Now, guys, I want to get into this in regards to Manchester United, a player that Man United were interested in the summer. Morton Hjulmand. Thank you so much, Rodney. Rodney, of course, who pointed me back in the direction. Morton Hjulmand is a target for Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim is looking to bring in a few Sporting Lisbon players by the start of next season. Manchester United do have to sell to buy, apparently, and Ruben Amorim wants to bring in some of his own players because he doesn't feel that the players that Manchester United have right now are working in his system. Morton Hjulmand, a Danish international who is 25 years old. Man United were interested in him in the summer. His contract expires in 2028. It will be about 40 to 50 million euros. Manchester United are interested in Morton Hjulmand to fill that void in the defensive midfield position. Now, what do you guys think about that signing? I know it was very underwhelming when we mentioned it in the summer. He plays for Sporting Lisbon, of course, in Liga Portugal. But you know what? He's a player that fits Ruben Amorim's system. So Ruben Amorim is looking at these type of players. Now, another player that Manchester United will look at is the AC Milan's talented goalkeeper, Mike Maignan. Mike Maignan is a French international, 28 caps for France. He's 29 years old. And we are looking at him at the moment. Now, he is not my type of goalkeeper in regards to stature, but he's a very good goalkeeper in regards to saves and not making silly mistakes. Inter Milan told us before we signed Onana that you're going to get ready for some crazy mistakes. I spoke to Inter Milan fans and I was right. They were right. He makes a lot of mistakes. Mike Magnon is on the list for Manchester United. 2026, his contract runs out. He is a little over the age of 29 years old in regards to that. So at the end of the day, is another goalkeeper that Man United are looking at. What this does tell me is that Manchester United are looking at alternatives to Onana. It is said that Ruben Amorim is not happy with Onana, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him. We might have won the game against Fulham if we had Binder in goal. I think he would have saved a couple of the penalties. Absolutely. Magnon can go for as low as 35 million euros. His price tag is 35, but he can go up to 45, 50 million euros. Man United can do a deal with AC Milan if they can, of course. Mark, not to put mud on him, but did you see how Garnacho was walking on the pitch after losing the ball against Fulham? This is the culture at the football club, Mark. I'm not any player FC. I'm not any player FC, but every single one of those players need to be held accountable for what goes on that pitch. I think Garnacho makes the wrong choices, and I think that he needs to improve in his decision making. And that will come with time. Because I remember Giggsy used to do that at 16 years old. He used to do the same thing. So, you know what? I think that will come with time. And I think that, you know what? It's a lot of pressure playing for Man United at the moment. You know, a lot of pressure. And I don't want to really bring in individuals. I'd rather look at the experienced players in the side, because the experienced players in the side are the ones that take you to battle, are the ones that pick you up when you are down, you know, and tell you to run, you know. And it doesn't look like we got any leadership in that team. Justice for the egg. Who's the egg? Absolutely. Why I talked about Bruno, because one player can undo the entire system. Bruno plays like a Steven Gerrard and creates huge gaps on the thing at the end of the day. I've met him too, Joe. I don't care if he's nice. I want Man United to be nice. I don't care if he's nice. I don't care if he has a nice cap or anything like that. I don't really care, Joe, to be honest with you, bruv. I don't really care about that. All I care about is telling the truth and stop the indirects at the manager and things like that. You know what I mean? And starting problems. You know, and that's what they do. You know what I mean? And I think he's a lovely guy. I've met him myself, Joe. I played football with him. You know what I mean? LT. Shah Alam, these are the true fan channels. There are true fan channels, and I'm also getting sick of the negative press that Amorim is getting, not only from the media, but now from our so-called fan channels. Absolutely, LT. I agree with you, bruv. I agree with you. The indirects and the planting of the seeds is getting a problem. I saw KG in Melbourne, but it was a hella crowd during the preseason with Ten Hag. Big up KG, by the way. No problem with KG. Absolutely. Stanley. Why I talked about Bruno is because Amorim's system only create gaps on the field and undo pattern. Stanley, you're spot on. I can't disagree with you in regards to that. People don't analyze the game; they analyze it with stats. You know, they're not analyzing the whole game. You know what I mean? They're not analyzing it from a neutral point of view. Stanley Matthews, well, that was my main criticism of Bruno. He doesn't even stay on his own position. Absolutely, I agree. I agree, Kenny. That is facts. Facts, Kenny. And people need to wake up. People need to wake up to the facts at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Joe Blackman, you know Lee Gunner, right? He sells his PlayStation to cash converters. He's one of those people who sell the yellow PlayStation. You remember the old PlayStations? They end up going yellow because of cigarettes. In his council estate, he's got the old yellow PlayStation. He's selling it to them. Or can I get a few quid for this, mate? Can I get a few quid for this, mate? Absolutely. I'm on a dissing mode today. LT. Every time I tried to play his style quickly, realized that it wouldn't work and adapted to the players. Amorim has come in and worked from his style. He is refusing to adapt the style to them. Absolutely, Lord Rodney. Spot on, mate. Spot on. Lord Rodney. My guy. Spot on. And what I would say is what happened when Eric Ten Hag changed his system, mate? What happened? It got worse. It got worse. It got worse. Absolutely. Absolutely. LT, they say patience is when it came to 3 months later, get him out of the club. Absolutely. Big up, Joe Blackman. It's nothing personal. It's football opinion. And I don't like people attacking the manager right now. You can have your opinion and your criticisms, but the planting of the seed in there, you know what I mean? You know what? If you took them to a corner, do you know what I mean? If you took them to a corner and you said to him, are you Are you Ruben Amorim in or out? Tell me. You can tell me. Tell me. I'm out, bruv. I'm out. Trust me. They'll do that. Trust me. They'll do that. Absolutely. Not Lee Cotton. Yeah, Lee Cotton. Absolutely. Lee Cotton. Absolutely. Lee Gunner. Lee Cotton more like. He sits there like this. Look, bruv. Look, bruv. Look, bruv. He's shaking like that. Like this. You remember them days? You know what I mean? Back in the day. You know what I mean? Like this, sitting in the laundrette. You know, he's got his Arsenal jerseys in the laundrette going round and round and round and round and round like this. You know what I mean? Half his mates are called Dave. Dave. All right, Tyberg. O'Neill and his son seems okay. A bit of a negative also about proper United fans. Oh, O'Neill and Webby. Tyberg. I know O'Neill and Webby. It's nothing to do with them. Proper stuff. Sort of the earth. I know people, I know them, and I know obviously people hang around them. I know people who own branches at Man United, and one is here in Abu Dhabi where I am right now. And Webby O'Neill, of course, brilliant people, and Man United, you know what I mean? Balanced. La Valencia, of course. Absolutely. Good morning, sir. I must say, I'm a fan of Adam FUT. On all opinions, tells us it's a bit negative. Mr. Adam FUTV. Absolutely a bit negative for me. It was too much on Eric Ten Hag. You know what I mean? They probably be on Ruben Amorim now as well. No freight for tattoos, mate. Not yet, at least. Oh, hey, don't change your team, mate. Big up, Sal. Your true fans support your work. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, guys. Everyone. You're absolute legends. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, Revert7. Good morning, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up. Big up, everyone, of course. I think we could be able to question the manager, though. Why can't we criticize him? Because it's not questioning Joe Blackman. It's not questioning, because the question is the tactics, right? The tactics. We move away from the tactics like Eric Ten Hag did. We're going to fall into the same trap that we did before. Ruben Amorim doesn't have his own players in the team. So how can we really criticize him, really? If he goes back to and goes against his philosophy that he's played since the Braga days, why, you know, and he fails, he can't go back to them tactics, because at the end of the day, the players have already won. That's what we have to look at. I see the same old patterns with these people. I can read them like a jigsaw. Without social media, they'll probably be bums, because they do the same thing all the time. You know what I mean? They like, same opinion, same thing. I can read them like a book. It's like round and round we go. Same opinion. Plant the seed. Owen, the lawyer, I call him, whatever he is, Werther's original eating guy, probably, I don't know, but, nice side parting. That's about it. At the end of the day, he's one of them as well. And then when you disagree with him, his face goes redder than this. His face goes redder than that, because he don't want anyone to have an opinion about it. He doesn't want anyone to disagree with it. And that is what it is. And if they, at the end of the day, I'm not a social media man. I'm not a TikToker. You know what I mean? I don't have the Glazers fist up my backside like a Muppeteer. I don't have that. So I don't talk, in riddles and what's going to create sensationalism and stuff like that. I don't do that. I'm the real. I don't even have to have real my name. Do you know what I mean? You think I went to Detroit, working with Shady Records, and I went to New York to work with G Unit because I'm a fool. I know what I'm talking about, guys. And people can disagree with it. People can disagree with it at the end of the day, but I don't care. Surely question matter without being manager out. Yes, Joe Batman. Yes, but they're not manager out. They're not criticizing. They're not. They are manager out. If we get knocked out of the Europa League, they will be manager out. Trust me. Believe this. Book stamp this, Joe. Book stamp this. Signed, sealed, delivered. They will be manager out. They will be manager out. If we get knocked out of the Europa League, they're going to start saying, look, guys, Joe, when you start your show like this, right? Let me tell you. I'm not manager out, but... Right? I'm not manager out, but we need to have a serious conversation about Ruben Amorim. It's a plant. It's a seed. It's a plant. It's a seed. They know what they're doing, right? It's a plant. It's a seed. Right. When people come on the show and the channel and talk properly, there's only a few of them have done that, but when they come on the show and talk properly about the context, about the player injuries, about no transfer windows, right? About how that formation has worked with Braga and Sporting Lisbon, right? In the Champions League as well, not just in Portugal, right? Then we can start, saying that that's balanced. At least they're talking about that. Then you can bring in problems with Ruben Amorim, and I got many, right? I could talk about Dalot. I could talk about formation all I want, but I know at the end of the day, he hasn't got his own players. And until he's got his own players, we can't really jump on him severely, because that is what's going on here. People are jumping on him. People are jumping on him, and they're acting like, and they're covering it up. They're putting a little salt bay on it, or instead of salt, they're putting sugar on it to make it look nice. You know what I mean? That's all they're doing. You know what I mean? And in reality, they are the manager out. In reality, they're manager out. That's what they are at the end of the day. Who's Morita? I don't know who's Morita. Big up, Lord Rodney, by the way. Sal, point one, you don't make Man United content for money. It's a you love the sport. 40 years free, nothing wrong with making money. So look, at the end of the day, Jim, I made money from when I was a youngster. I came from Leytonstone in East London to be working with platinum selling artists. I didn't need social media. I went on the streets to sell my CD to get where I went. Yeah, do you know what I mean? To get where I needed to get to. You know what I mean? I didn't need social media and things like that. Many of these people out there right now wouldn't have any platform, right? And that is no disrespect. That is just the way it is. It's a fact. Many of them can't even go to the gym, let alone go, you know what I mean? Look after, talk about, make something of themselves from crumbs. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So it is what it is. And thank you so much, Jim. You absolute legend. Big up to yourself. Big up, of course. Big point is you're honest and speak your heart. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Thank you, Jim. Man, top keeper, but injury prone. You need to good number two. Yeah, we're looking at a number two, Lord Rodney, at the moment. We are looking at a number two. We are looking at him at the moment. And look, Man United need a couple of things. Man United need a rebuild, Rodney. I know it's you as a Tottenham fan. I know it's hard for me to say that, because we both need a rebuild, don't we? And I would say that it's going to take a long time, and we're going to, it's not going to be an easy fix. And this is what we have to understand. You can criticize is fine after the game and all that, but you know what? People drag it on all week about formations and this and that and this and that. Goodness me. This frustrated with Garnacho, exactly why I tried to tell United fans that Pellistri and Fernandes were good. Yeah, they're good, but they're not good enough for Man United. None of them are, Rodney. I would say that the Man United players that have played this last 10 years are not good enough. I don't care any of them anymore. I've lost touch with Man United fans, Rodney. I've lost touch with them, mate. I mean, I'm not going to talk about Pellistri because he didn't really get a chance, but I've lost touch with Man United players. I really have. I don't have any love for them. Like I used to have love for Man United players when they used to play. I don't have any love for them anymore, because they are the ones who go on the step on that pitch, of course. LT. People need to be realistic and stop comparing the situation now, Fergie days, when they can see the ownership in the center of this rot and this you stick to beating the manager. Look at Ruben Amorim's face. Does Ruben Amorim look like a guy who's happy? I think if Ruben Amorim right now had the chance to manage Sporting Lisbon right now without any repercussions, he will go back to Sporting Lisbon. I think he will go back to Sporting Lisbon. I really do. Joe Blackman, listen, Joe, listen to me, right? Listen to me, brother. Look, what I would say is this, right? I don't like sugarcoating things. I just can't hold my tongue. I've got a potty tongue, and that's the way I am. At the end of the day, what I would say, right, is that I see big fan channels, right? Fan channels having Arsenal fans present their shows as pretending to be Man United fans, right? And I know they're Arsenal fans because I'm from East London and I've seen them in Arsenal shirt, right? And they're on these channels pretending to be Man United fans. They're generally just accountants, and that's it, who know about football a little bit, about the business side of things, talk good. Some of them, I wouldn't mind them representing me in court. You know what I mean? Hopefully I don't have to go to court again. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's what it is. But I'm going to call it out, and anyone can call me out if they want to, because I will sit them down. Absolutely. I'll sit them down. Absolutely. Sue. That's what I'll do. I'll sit them down. Absolutely. By the way, guys, Owen would be interested in this. Elimination Chamber was an absolute farce. John Cena has done a heel turn. Now, let me tell you a story, guys, about John Cena. I went to WWE Raw Live in 2011. I was front row ringside. You could see it, right? And after the fight, it was Sin Cara against Sin Cara and John Cena. After the fight, right, John Cena was jumping in the crowd, showing love to the crowd, blah, blah, blah. He was jumping in the crowd, right? And then after the cameras went off, right, this kid, he was in the arm of his father, right? He was like that. They were by the ringside, corner of the ringside, by the steps, right? Like this, right? By the way, I got a hug from Lillian Garcia. He was on the corner of the ring, right? And after that, like what happened is that the kid said, "Can I have your shoulder pad?" And Ruben, and what did John Cena do? What did John Cena do? He went, "Get off me." He went, "Get off me." I knew a long time ago that guy is a fake. I knew he's a fake at the end of the day. I support CM Punk. Big up CM Punk. Absolutely. Yeet. Yeah, guys, Garnacho is very fast. He's faster than younger Pelestri, but he's very selfish. And that comes with age, doesn't it, Rodney? That comes with age. And I remember Ryan Giggs making the same mistakes. He's got to look up. It's part of the game. You know, I think that he needs to look for the right pass, and that will come with time. And he can be nurtured with that. He needs to be nurtured. Just like Pelistri needs to be nurtured. Just like a number of these players need to be nurtured, of course. Low yellow PlayStation. Absolutely, bruv. When we make sales by selling Sancho, which is a 10.4 million profit, 40 million Malacia, I don't know, I can get a profit for Anthony. Hopefully we get a profit from Anthony and Rashford. Hopefully they don't come to the football, back to the football club, subject to popular belief, of course. Ricardo, what's going on, my friend? So what's up with Morton? Yesterday, the Portuguese newspaper were talking about Trincao. Yeah, I've got news about Morton, Ricardo Diaz, and Manchester United. That Ruben Amorim wants Morton Holman at Manchester United. He wanted him in the summer, couldn't get him, but Man United want him. I haven't heard anything about Trincao yet. I know it's in the Portuguese newspaper, but I'm going to find that out today, Ricardo. Thank you, bruv. Absolutely. Everyone complained that Erik ten Hag played crap football when he adapted the tactics to the players. Exactly. Big up Joe Blackman Pearl. Big up everyone, of course, guys. Absolutely. Joe, so what do you trust in the manager, though? What are you supposed to do? Just be quiet. You call out mistakes, Joe. You call out criticism, but you also mix the criticism with the context of the criticism. I criticize the manager. If you watch me on a watch along, I'm all day criticizing the manager. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not manager FC. I'm Man United FC. But I know the difference between criticizing and having an agenda and not changing that agenda. It's a bit like when Erik ten Hag was being called to be sacked. Those same people did not change their opinion, apart from KG, right? Now, the mark of a person who is smart, who is someone who can have a balanced opinion, who's someone who can change their opinion based on evidence, not just keep their narrative because they got an ego, right? And I've been wrong many times, Joe. I've been wrong many times. And people who know me, they know that long time, 40 years, I've criticized certain players and they've gone on to be superstars. You know what I mean? What I would say is that you can't piss on me and tell me it's raining. I know when someone is Ruben Amorim down and Ruben Amorim now. You know, I know that. And they can pretend that they're being all diplomatic, they're being all, balanced with their argument and stuff like that. They're being all like this, all balanced and stuff. You know what I mean? But generally, I see through it. I see real eyes recognize real lies. At the end of the day, I see through it. Absolutely. Big up, Joe. But there's nothing personal. Let me tell you that. It's nothing personal. Apart from the yellow PlayStation, it's nothing personal. And Lee Cotton, of course. Justice for the old egg. Big up, Lord Rodney. Joe Blackman, we can criticize the manager. I am for it, but we need to realize the current state of the squad. Absolutely. And this is something that is not being mentioned enough. It's not being mentioned enough. You know, some people, they're not articulate with their words more than other people. I'm not articulate with my words. And some people are articulate with their words, which is why they get to work on certain channels and stuff like that. I'm not articulate with my words. I'm a scrub. Like, basically not a scrub. I'm not a scrub. I'm a guy from East London, the East End of London. You know, I'm in one bedroom flat in Leytonstone. Do you know what I mean? That's where I'm from. I'm not articulate. I cannot pronounce things like they can. And I think that is the problem with them. Basically, it's like this, right? The top shelf, you've got all the elites, right? They might as well have a thing. What do they have in the court? Order, you down below, shut up. Order, you down below, shut up. Order, you down below. That's what it is. And then they gang up on people. They don't have a balanced argument. They gang up on this and that, and then they start, and it annoys me. Do you know what I mean? It annoys me. Mamma mia, my goodness. Big up everyone. The same players who couldn't adapt to 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 formation. Absolutely, Kenny. Kenny is speaking the Kennedy today. Big up, Kenny. Absolutely. Love Ken. Where does we all need to? Nothing. Absolutely. Sack the manager then. Look, they're not happy with the formation. He's not going to change the formation. Why moan about it? Why talk about the formation if he's not going to change the formation? Sack the manager then, isn't it? It's mad. Big up Michael. Big up the Ghana family, of course. Big up my G. Absolutely good to see you, man. Good. Big up Accra. Big up Ghana, of course. Big up Hearts of Oak. Big up. Absolutely. Big up yourself. Big up my friend. Sal on smoke this morning. Yeah. Joe, bruv. Absolutely. I have to be, man. These people think like, you know what I mean? I'm fed up with seeing accountants talking about Man United. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with this. It's like, you know what I mean? They might as well wear that wig that they're wearing a cool and start, you know what I mean? I'm fed up with seeing it. Order. No. You know what I mean? Goodness me. It drives me mad. We are allowed. This is what we're doing, Joe. We're talking about the manager. We're talking about the manager right now. We're talking about the manager, but the opinion is that they're going on to the same opinion as Erik ten Hag. They're doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Just go round and round. That's what we're doing. We're doing the same thing. I mean, they're doing the same. You can't disagree with my opinion. No, you can't disagree with my opinion. Bruv, my opinion goes further back than Flex's hairline, mate. I got back 40 years, man. I've seen success, right? At the end of the day, right, I should be the one who should be like standards in the mud. Standards. But I'm the one who's actually, you know what I mean, go talking about, you know, back the manager, be patient and stuff like that. Don't you think that's weird? Absolutely. Joe, it's nothing wrong criticizing the manager, but I consider something not about twerking the system that we all know these players are too lazy to play, and let's weed out the shit. Absolutely, bruv. Absolutely. Big up Joe, by the way. Got enough love for Joe. Dorgu has a decent job, you know, let him get in. Dorgu's been brilliant since he came in. Ain't that a coincidence? Thank you, Joe, but I'm probably going to get blackballed from this. But you know what? I've been blackballed from here to come to ever since I went to BBC, and they told me, you're blackballed. I'm blackballed from the BBC. They told me I'm blackballed from the BBC. You know what I mean? I'm not anymore, by the way. But it took a long time to get that off the radar, of course. What Arsenal fan? I've told him. He's Lee Cotton. Lee Cotton. The other Arsenal fan. I can't remember the other Arsenal fan. Arsenal fans. Oh, the Arsenal fan. Oh, the Arsenal fan, Joel Blockner. Sorry, my mind is... The Arsenal fan. We all know the Arsenal fan. He's on the United stand at the moment. Joe. We know he's presenting United stand. He's an Arsenal fan. I've seen him in Arsenal jerseys. I went to... I live in Leighton, and he used to live up the road. I used to live in Leighton, and he used to live up the road from me. So I know. Don't shoot the messenger. 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 Guys, thank you. I've gone over my allocated time. No, I'm starving, Marvin. I don't eat until 12 o'clock usually. So you know what, guys? I want to thank every single person who's joined me today. It's an emotional show. That's how we do things, of course. That's how we do things here. Absolutely. Big up, Steve, by the way. I'm unsure of the manager, but I understand that there needs to be context in regards to these players. Absolutely, Joe. Absolutely. That's the whole point, isn't it? Absolutely, brother. I saw it's intently this morning. Why can't fans grasp that Amorim was picking because of his success and playing style? Exactly. This is what United wanted. Yet people want him sacked because they can't be patient. They can't be patient. Certain man went to the gym, right? Certain man went to the gym and they went for a week. And then they posted, oh, it ain't easy. And then, you know what? They wonder why they still look like the bloody, what's his name? Marshmallow Man. Fans made up their mind that Erik ten Hag going to walk, absolutely. may not know what Everton would work before he took the job. Absolutely did the fact positivity when they screamed forward to change the tactics. The minute he did, they critical him. Amorim, and this is coming from a Tottenham fan, guys. Coming from a Tottenham fan. Do you know what I mean? Talking the gospel. All good, so take care. Guys, take care. I'm off now. It's been a mad thing, but you know what? I'm off. Thank you, everyone who joined me today. It's been absolutely brilliant. Thank you, everyone. You're all legends. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, later on, I've got a journalist coming on. He couldn't make it yesterday. He was sick. Sorry. Apologies. But I've got a journalist coming on later. A known journalist. I'm coming on later. Don't forget to join me for Chatterbox. I'll keep you updated as well in regards to it. Please put your notifications on, guys. That'd be absolutely splendid. Thank you, everyone who's joined me today. Keep it Stretford Post, right? Keep it Stretford Post. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you, Joe. I'll probably blackball myself. I'm here to come, Kingdom Come, but I don't care. I don't care. Absolutely. Absolutely. Big up, everyone. So I believe in a balanced criticism, Jim. I believe in context and everything. Cheers, Sal. Big up. Absolutely, Jim. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for that comment. Absolutely. Everyone, thank you for joining me today. Absolutely. Big up, GK, and everyone, those who haven't said hello yet. Hello, hi. Hello, hi. Hello, hi. Hello, hi. Big up, everyone, and take it easy. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. Take it easy. See you later.